There's like so many films that I wouldn't have otherwise seen that have really influenced me in the film program.
I love Citizen Kane.
Seven Samurai was a good one.
The Third Man, Bicycle Thieves, Akira the Wrath of God.
Canadian cinema in general.
The Decalogue by Krzysztof Kieslowski.
I liked The Limey, Project Grizzly.
Ivan's Childhood.
Kubrick's Class.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Stan Brakhage.
As far as movies that really upset me, yes, Leolo really offended me.
It's a brilliant film. Threatening film, but very important.
I completely disagree with that film being good in any way, shape, or form.
Personally, I thought Persona was the most self-indulgent and narcissistic movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
And I just get angry if a film is too much stereotyping going on, or just not enough attention paid to craft and detail of story.
I thought Don't Look Back was a little bit pretentious. The idea that filmmakers are holier than thou, anybody who comes up with that idea is just off the rocker.
Enough Kubrick already. It seems that he's a fallback to a lot of props. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I think he's a brilliant filmmaker, but we need new approaches.
You sit there and you're like, hour and a half, holy fuck, it's still going, it's 2 hours.
I hated Brakhage at first. I hated him. I just thought it was just so insufferable. I mean, half an hour, honestly. Longer for Dog Star Man, and we watched the whole thing. But then myself and Corby Evenson did a presentation on him, and throughout the course of that, I gained so much respect for the man, just for his philosophy and his personality, and he wasn't this sort of angry avant-garde filmmaker that everyone kind of thought he was, shunning sound and just, like really sticking it to Hollywood. But he wasn't. I mean, he had an appreciation for every kind of filmmaking. He just was really doing his own thing and wanted to explore himself and in that way also sort of explore the nature of humanity. So that's a perfect example of films that originally angered me, but then through the course of my learning and my studying, I discovered that I was actually quite inspired by him. I don't know if I necessarily will ever make anything like Brakhage, but I know that having had that experience and having sort of delved into his psyche a bit further, I feel like that has changed a part of my filmmaking as well.
Usually to get your BFA, you have to go through about 4 years, so that's a long time of your life. So there's lots of stuff that happens.
Homesick, just a little bit.
It's the workload and the desire for my own research.
It's sort of taken up a huge chunk of my life. Like, the degree better be worth it. Once I graduate, I'm supposed to be rich or something. This April.
It's that transition time between your teen years and your adult years, and during that time you're gonna feel like a complete mess. And especially if like the college years were like the best times of your life, I mean, who would want to leave that?
It's taken me a long time to build up the confidence in myself that I can use all the equipment that we have, or help other people on their projects, and feel confident that I'm giving them good advice and not terrible advice.
That's sort of natural that you come into the program with kind of like this sort of fear and inability, and you're sort of afraid that you're not going to be either as good as your classmates. Sometimes I feel like forcing myself to be creative is exactly what creates that writer's block. It's just this inability, because you're putting so much pressure on yourself to come up with something fantastic and groundbreaking that's going to make everybody go, oh my god, that was amazing, and yet sometimes it's just not feasible if you're in a mindset where you're also like, okay, well, I have to get this paper done, I have a midterm coming up, and all this and everything else sort of factors into that. So I think that sometimes that gets difficult.
A while back, it was so competitive that students would essentially just shit on your film, no matter what they thought of it, because it was too competitive. And that got to me. That shook my confidence to the point that I thought about just quitting.
Last year, I started using cocaine, and I didn't start last year. Last year it became a problem, and to the point where I had shown up to production once the whole semester, and I was spending every dime I had, and then some. I still owe money from that, actually, and I don't know exactly what was bothering me or what needed, you know, numbing, but at the time it just kept going and it got worse and worse. I was working over at a fish shop on 13th, and one day Charlie actually came in. He knew I worked there, and he was nice enough to come in the day before the final drop date for classes. And he said, you know, Ed, I hate to tell you, but if you don't drop your class tomorrow, I'm gonna have to give you an NP for this. And it was sort of at that moment that things in my head, I realized I had been ignoring, you know, vital things in life and, you know, just sort of abusing myself. And, you know, I think back and like how shook I was at the time, you know, thinking, oh my God, this means I have to come back here a whole nother year. I'm delaying, you know, I'm basically delaying my life to sell fish and get high for a little bit, which sounds ridiculous, but I mean, that's basically what was happening. And, you know, $8,000 later, and I think I have a hole that goes pretty much to the back of my head. I'm, you know, much better off.
If you're in film, you probably don't have a social life because you're so involved in your work, and because filmmakers are passionate what they want to do and what they want to do. And if you really want to make a film, then you really kind of have to sacrifice a little time here and there, and it's just a matter of balance. So if you can find that balance between your home life, family life, if you have kids or a wife, then or more power to you, because it's a lot of work, and I admire and respect those people who can like maintain a life outside film.
What to say about Jan other than she's probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
It's such a competitive industry to get into, and it's really it really puts a damper on your aspirations, but it's always chasing that dream is what really keeps you going and really want to get there. So just all you got to do is really work hard.
You take from your experiences and you build on them. That's all you can it's all you can do as an artist. The people in my class, depending on how many children I have, they'll probably be named after each of them.
I had some best times of my life doing it, like in the film program, like going to university and meeting people, and you know, so thanks to everybody for that.
The year I'm in, like there's just such a unique, diverse crowd in the program, so I've had a good time just even meeting the people that are in the program too.
Because I'm so used to doing everything on my own, and I've always been afraid to ask for help, and knowing that there's people out there who like me who want to do the same thing, it's nice to know that they kind of got my back.
We're learning, we're excited, we're frustrated, we're stressed out, and because of the way school's structured, we're all feeling those emotions at the same time. So I mean, you can have, you know, people to vent to kind of thing, which is nice.
Professionally, I mean, that's the good thing about the program is you get to meet people with the same goals as you that can help you achieve your goals. You can help them achieve theirs.
I couldn't have done it without them. I couldn't have gotten this all together by myself. And I think about just the shit we had to go through, even with all those people involved. They've helped more than they will ever know.
And now as a faculty member, I find the students are also inspiring. I don't think I would have made River the way I made it if I hadn't seen the work of some students.
What outweighs that technical knowledge, or maybe what some people, some might say lack thereof, I think that what outweighs that is the confidence that I've built being in the program, being with really very helpful and positive people who really support all the students and how all the students support each other. I think that's more important than anything else, because if you feel the confidence to undertake something, then you'll go the extra step to learn how to do it. And so I feel like I'm most grateful in the program for the people more than anything else, and for the building of that confidence, and sometimes making me feel occasionally like I could potentially be an artist.
You have to be in the moment kind of thing and realize that it's not going to come again. So, just be thankful for every class you even have to fight through right now, because it's going to be gone and you'll be like, now I got to work, and all that fun stuff's gone.
Film school is like this period of your life, for 4 or 5 years, where you can really concentrate on something that you find inspiring or that you love. And I think it's really important to recognize that as you're going through it, instead of hindsight 5 years down the road when you're in a job working and you maybe don't have the time you have now to watch films and to study films and to take out a camera and play around with it, or to sit with footage in an edit suite and just play with it. You need to make the most of that period, because once you get out of school and you need to start earning a living, you don't have as much time for that. So, seize the moment.
Sticks in my craw when I hear about all these people saying, well, it's film production. That's like, you make movies and you get a university degree. Like, they equate it to getting a Bachelor of Fine Arts in basket weaving or something like that. I think we need to produce more. We need to show more what we're made of in order to get rid of that stigma. This can be something amazing. We just have to take the initiative to make it that way. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Or my part. That's perfect. That's good. I can't think of anything to say.